Alright, this is my final video on standard form. There were two others before this one. I'm just going to jump straight into this with a couple of rules. First of all, when you are multiplying standard form, if you are multiplying, you need to remember to add the powers. And when you are dividing, which we'll do in a bit, you need to subtract the powers. This comes from indices. If you want to know more about indices, you can check out one of my videos on indices. But let's jump straight in. So we need to multiply these two numbers. If I was to try and write it out, this would have been 20,000 multiplied by a very tiny number of 0.006. Okay, so it's quite a tiny number to multiply by a very big number, and who wants that fun? No one does. So let's have a look at how quickly we can do this. And how we can do this, first of all, is multiply the two main numbers. Just multiply those two numbers. So 6 times 2 gives us 12 times, and then for the tens there, remember what we said when we multiply standard form, just add the powers up. So we'll end up with 10 to the power 4 plus a negative 3, which is still 4 take away 3. So you're going to have 12 times 10 to the power 1. You might be looking at this and thinking, well, I've done it now, that's my answer, but you'd be wrong. And the reason why is because this number is not in standard form. And that's because this number is bigger than 10. And remember, the rules of standard form is that this first number has to be 10 or less. So the decimal point is now here. We need to move it one place there. And if you remember from my second video, if you move the decimal point one place here, it increases this power by 1. So the final answer should be 1.2 times 10 squared. And that is us done. Alright, let's have a look at another one. So here we have a different situation where we are multiplying two numbers in standard form, and we do the same thing. Start by multiplying the 8 and the 4. So 4 times 8 gives us 32 times 10, and we remember from the previous slide that when you multiply you add the powers. So you'll end up with a negative 3 plus a negative 5, which will still give us minus 3 minus 5, and if you know how to work your arithmetic out rather quickly, you should know you'll get 32 times 10 to the power of minus 8. This number is not in standard form. We need to change this to 3.2 because this number is too big, is bigger than 10. So we need to move the decimal point one place to the left, which means adding 1 to the power. And if we add 1 to that power, 3.2 times 10 to the power minus 7. Yes, it is minus 7. If you think about it, I'll just do a quick aside here. Minus 8 plus 1, the signs are different, so you subtract the two numbers, and taking 1 from 8 gives you 7. Take the sign of the bigger number, minus 7. Okay, so that's where that came from. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay, right, let's move. Here we have a different situation. We're dividing this time, so that number divided by that number, and if you remember from the first slide, when we are dividing we subtract the powers this time. But carry on as normal. Your two main numbers at the front, just divide them. We know that 8 divided by 2 gives us 4 times 10 to the power of, well, subtract the powers. So here you're going to have 3 take away 1, So my final answer is 4 times 10 to the power 2. We can stop here because this first number is less than 10, so this is in standard form. Another situation that we've got here, and as usual, divide your first two numbers first. These first two numbers happen to be the same, so 2 divided by 2 is 1 times 10 to the power of this power take away that power, so we're looking at minus 3 subtract a negative 6. If you know your arithmetic and your negative numbers, that sort of stuff, you should know that this turns to a positive number. So your final answer should be 1 times 10 to the power of 3. Okay, this is in standard form. I'm quite happy with that. All right. On this slide, you've got some to try on your own. Have a go doing these ones on your own. Pause the video and then have a go, and after about 10 seconds or so, I will show you the answers. Alright, so here we have it. There are your answers. Just have a quick look to make sure that you've got those right. If you're worried about some of the powers, just double check that your arithmetic has been done properly. Alright, that's fantastic. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Alright then, see you in the next video.